Hello and welcome to Crypto Weeklies. In this video, we analyze Ethereum in its ticker ETH. None of the content financial advice. Over here, we on the chart we have the 2026 price action in green and comparing it with the previous bear market in 2022 and in 2018. So right now, ETH in this green line over here has a negative ROI of about 22% from the yearly open. Yearly open for ETH 2026 began on this line somewhere. So the yearly open was at around 3k. Right now the price action is about 20% lower. That means about $600 lower from $3,000 at around $2,300. It's not too dissimilar compared this bear market to the last one in 2022. The purple line over here at this similar point in time, negative ROI of about 28%. What remains to be seen, like we discussed yesterday for Bitcoin. If you haven't checked out that video, check it out on CryptoWeeklies.com. Link on the bottom of your screen. The home page, if you go over the home page, what you would find that over there is this link to the YouTube channel, and then you can check all of the videos related to that discussion on crypto and Bitcoin related analysis that we had yesterday. Coming back to the website, this is the home page of website where we started this video with this ROI analysis. This is my own website, no signups or no membership required. It's all available for free and it's updated every day. So the ROI metric, let's start with 2026 rather than focusing on Bitcoin. Today we focus on ETH in 2026 versus ETH in 2022 and in 2018. So this time, this time 4 years ago in May 2022, you can see over here in the charts as well that from that May 2022 time period where the price action was essentially 4 years before today was essentially at the similar level at 2500. Nothing has changed in that raw number wise, but you can see from that 2500 there was a drop to less than $1,000 in that early June time period. For context, Bitcoin from its 2022 level 4 years later is much further along. It's more than 2x, almost 3x of that $33,000 level that Bitcoin hit in mid-May, slightly under 30k. Now the price action is $81,000. So that's the difference between the number one and the number two crypto by market cap. Comparing the bear market years, from here, if there is a drop for ETH, again the magnitude would likely be different of the drop as the price action did not rise that significantly in 2024 2025 like it did in from that 2020 price action of less than $150 to 30x from that level to $4,500. This time from the bottom to the peak, ETH made a 5x roughly speaking, from $900 to $4,800 at one point $5,000, 5x, slightly higher than 5x. So from 30x the return dropped to 5x in the from the bottom to the peak. Again, the bottom for ETH in March 2020 was even lower than that at around $90, and the bear market bottom was at around $80. So $80 to that $4,800, that's the 60x. This time around it's 1/10 of that, even less than 1/10 of that. So the bear market drops in 2026 likely would have diminished volatility, going by that logic that if the upward volatility is capped, likely the downward volatility is also capped. So in the next few weeks to months, if ETH starts behaving like it did back in 2022 or even in 2018, you can see although there was this shorter term rally, the phase that is, instead of on May 10th of like it was in 2022, the phase kind of manifested in the last week of 2018, May 20th of 2018. So from that point on, the price action, the ROI from negative 7%, it started having that downward slope and continued throughout the end of the year to negative 89%, whereas in the 2022 bear market, the ROI at the bottom again was negative 73%, and the drop came early on, that is in June 2018. And also there was a double bottom, but still it was a higher low from that ROI perspective, negative 70%, whereas this was at negative 73%. You can check it out on the ETH chart as well, where the drop in late November was at around slightly higher than slightly lower than $1,100, but above $1,000. Whereas over here, the price action at the bottom was at around 880, or at that daily close was at closer to $900. So ETH bottom occurred early on in 2022 than in 2018. Now in 2026, its first major drop. I'll just get rid of the 2018 bear market for now. The first major drop came in February 2026, where the drop was negative 40%. Likely in the next half of 2026, that drop might come into question one more time, and there could be a double bottom test at least of that drop. If that happens for ETH, the price action for ETH in that level to check is closer to $1,700-$1,800. If there is a higher low, then maybe closer to $1,900 for ETH. Could be that ROI based comparison. From the time weighted average price model perspective though, ETH, this white line over here is the time weighted average price, which is the gravity of time based approach to ascertain what is the price at which the asset has spent its value building over the course of its entire life. That means what is the baseline value created over the years of trading for ETH, where if the price were to fall at or close enough to that white line, I'm not saying every bear market the price action has to go below the white line, but that's why we have these risk level. Whenever the risk levels are, let's say, less than 3 for ETH, previously, again, those were some of the great times. Again, in 2018, although at the bottom the difference between the price and the time weighted average price was negative 82%, 83%. Those days for ETH are largely over. Now that ETH has become more and more adopted, getting a 82% discount on its baseline value or the time weighted average price would mean that the price has to trade close to $320 or so. That doesn't seem likely. So what we have over here is the growth in the time weighted average price is more stable, and we can see from that inflection point in that 2021 rally, largely speaking, that got over in 2022. There has been sustained rise in the time weighted average price, which has been a testament of ETH putting from a macro perspective higher lows from bearish phases to bearish phases, and also the high for ETH in 2025 was higher than 2021. So ETH had that two things going on for it. The risk level 3 currently at around, there is a difference between the price and time weighted average price of about 35%. The time weighted average price is at $1,700. That again is one zone of confluence from our previous analysis of the ROI, and also the time weighted average price coming close to that $1,700. If let's say ETH were to test those levels in the later half of 2026, that price action might come closer to 10 to 20% discount on the time weighted average price at the bottom. If let's say the time weighted average price right now it's at around $1,700, but let's say it goes closer to $1,800. For context, in 2025 the time weighted average price was $1,500. ETH did spend about a couple of days below the time weighted average price at the mid cycle bottom of 2025. So at that extending that growth, or even at the start of the year, the time weighted average price was slightly under $1,700. So extrapolating this towards the end of the year, closer to $1,800. And if let's say there is a 10% discount on that, subtracting 180 from 1,800 would be closer to 1,620. That could be one area for ETH bottom. analysis using the time weighted average price approach. Nonetheless, at this risk level for time weighted average price, accumulation for ETH is at around risk level 4. Ideally, risk level 3 would be the best bet for ETH accumulation, 3 or below. So that's the zone for ETH currently. So likely in later half of 2026, if there is a correction, ETH might go to risk level 1, 2 or 3. So for the regression based approach, right now the fair value for ETH is $3,600. This is the mathematically derived fair value using its own price action since 2017 as an attempt to cut the price action to two half. The top half is overvalue, the bottom half is undervalue. If you apply one standard deviation residual to it, the green line becomes more of a area where if the price action comes close to it, that's where again price action is in that ignored territory where accumulating at or near the green line, like it was in 2022 June, or in 2018 that panic phase where the price action was sub $150. Right now that level for ETH is anytime the price action goes sub to $2,300. This is the reality as of today. If you extrapolate that, if you want to extrapolate that, we have another model which looks at that same regression level at a daily level instead of a weekly level. The regression based extrapolation, the future extrapolated line says that again this is in the next 6 months the fair value for ETH could likely rise from the $3,600 level to $4,000 level by November 2026. And the bottom regression line, again, we don't have that analysis for at a daily level, but we'll definitely try to add it. The overvaluation territory for ETH at this point suggests that again the last bull market was nothing like the past bull market where the price action did not go to overvalued territory at all. So maybe in 2027, 2028 time period, if the bull run were to come back in full force, and if ETH maintains something of a similar cadence of a bull market like it enjoyed in 2018 or in 2021, then the ceiling for ETH price action could be greater than $10,000. With all of that, the estimated bear market bottom for ETH as it completes its bear market of 2026, the base bear case is only about 20% lower from here, which is $1,800. And without a major recessionary trend, even the panic scenario is at the same level. If there is a major recessionary trend or lower lows in 2026, that worst case scenario or blood bear case for ETH is at around $1,400. With all of that, trying to conclude on a hopeful note, if let's say 2027 offers that immediate recovery like 2023 did, and then 2028 and 2029 are bullish phases yet again. The base case for ETH in the next time in the next bull run is 6,200. The bull case is at around 7,700, and the stretch goal or the moon peak is at around $10,000 level. Which, if let's say ETH bottoms at around less than $2,000 or $1,800 level, a rally from that bottom to the peak is greater than 5x, which is again significant considering the last time around ETH did only a 5x from bottom to peak, from $1,000 to essentially $5,000. With that, hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please give a like and subscribe, and hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.